Okay, so hello and welcome to Automation Studio. Yeah, I'm going to walk you through Automation Studio, and what we're going to use Automation Studio for is actually to simulate our ladder logic. Now, when we get into pneumatics, we're going to use it for that as well, and also hydraulics. Automation Studio is a very powerful tool, and it's on AppStream, and I'll show you where that is. And it essentially simulates circuits and stuff that goes on. You can simulate a lot of stuff in Automation Studio. Right now, we're just going to like barely scratch the surface and learn how to use Automation Studio to build the ladder logic circuits that we're studying for Introduction to Controls. Okay, so this is what you do. You go into labs, whether you group A or group B, doesn't matter. You click on this guy, right? And then Automation Studio, we're going to click on AppStream for Automation Studio, and then we're going to open up graphic design and open this guy. So let's just, here we go. Click on this guy, and it'll take you to this website. Now, you hit graphic design because we are in the Faculty of Applied Sciences and Technology. So you want graphic design, and you go in here, and then you're going to log in to your account, and then from there you have all of these things. So dude, if you want to use any of these things, it's amazing. They're all here. Even AutoCAD, dude. SolidWorks? Yeah, it's amazing. So anyway, we're gonna Automation Studio. So AppStream, I'm sure you guys know it already, but anyway, click on this AppStream and bammo schmammo. So it'll take a little while for this to load up, and once it's loaded up, then I will show you how to use Automation Studio to build your ladder logic diagrams. Yep. And there we go. So it's zooming in, and it will fire up. And this is what it looks like. So you'll see the screen, and then you'll see this, where it's creating a new project, and then it just does this, and it starts up with an open field for you to build whatever you want. So we're going to go into the JIC Electrical Control. This is the Joint Industry Council, and that is the council that defined all of the proper symbols that we use for ladder logic. Yeah, ladder logic is actually a really huge thing. So there actually, there's some specific symbols that we use, and all of them have been programmed into the JIC. So I'm just going to open that whole menu. See that? Yeah, hit on this little chevron down there, and bam, so it opens up. So there's a lot of stuff we can do in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start building a ladder logic. So the first thing we have to do is pull in some power. We're going to do 24-volt supply, and then we're going to go 0 over there. Okay, good. So we've got this. Now I'm going to move this over here a little bit. I want a little bit more space maybe. There you go. Now if these are not perfectly aligned, that's fine. We can align them later because I can click on this and use the buttons, the arrow buttons, to go up. I'm going to just click it once. I think maybe they're aligned a little bit better. Good. So now I can actually draw, I can click on this and draw a line down. Now I didn't want to do that, so I'm just going to hit escape. Good. So I stopped that. Now, what I want to do is I want to go down here and I want to study these things. Right now, I'm just going to do a basic start-stop with a holding circuit, and then we're going to turn a light on. So what's going on is that I'm going to need a coil for sure, but I'm going to start building from the left to the right. So I'm going to put my normally closed in. Actually, let's build this circuit. Oh, wait. Let's fill this in. So this is going to be stop. You have to name it. Whenever you put anything in here, any kind of contact in here, you have to name it. Or if you put an output in here, like a solenoid or a light or a relay coil, you have to name it as well. And there's a good reason for that, and we'll see that in a second. So it's an output signal, and because it's going to give us information that current is traveling through here, and I have to name it, so it's named stop. So this is the circuit we're going to build. This is actually going to take a look at this. This is what we're going to build. We're going to put a stop, a start, we're going to put a holding circuit with a relay, and then have a light. So we're just going to build this. Okay, so let's go on. I'm just going to close this, and don't save it, that's fine. So let's build that. The next thing we need is that it's normally open. All right, so a start button. So a normally open push button. So I'm going to put that guy in there. Oh yeah, it wants a name. Okay, start. Perfect. Okay, so I can just, by the way, you don't have to click on this, or you can, and it does that. You can also hit the close button. Okay, good. So the next thing I need is a coil, and there are coils here. So I'm just going to grab my coil, and I'm going to put it over here. Again, I'm building from left to right, and this I'm going to call R1, and I can hit enter. So there are different ways to make that go away. Now, I want to zoom in here. I'm going to hold the control key down, and I'm going to put my mouse where I want to zoom in, and I'm going to use the scroll button, and I'm just going to turn my scroll button. Okay, nice. So if I want to go up and down, I can release the control, and I can go this way. Okay, good. So now, what I want to do is I want to continue with some stuff here, but I want to put my output, because I want to draw this in, but I want my output. I want a lamp. So I can go down here and look for lamps, and there are actually no lamps in here. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to say output components because I'm looking for lamps. Coils, oh, signaling device, sweet. There's probably a lamp in there, and yes. So this is a sub menu. I'm going to click on it, and you'll see these guys change. Ready? Bammo schmammo. Indicator light, sweet. I'm going to drag this so you can see I'm clicking on it with my left mouse. I'm clicking and I'm dragging over to here, and I'm going to put it here. Okay, good. I'm going to maybe move it down there a little bit because that's what a holding circuit in here. So I'm going to call this L1 for lamp 1. Sweet. Now I'm just going to fill this in, and then I'm going to have to put a contact in for my holding circuit and for my lamp, and I can do that in a second. Okay, good. I'm going to put this here. I need these lines to be able to do this. Now, how do I make this go here? Do I go here and draw a line down to here? Well, not really. I could just actually do it right over here and just click on it. So I'm good. Now, I want to fill all this in. How do I do that? Well, I need a contact in here. Because if we go back to this image, oh, no. We can see, now that's a motor in my image, but we'll just call it a light. We can see that this is connected to here. Oh, I don't need a contact for that. Sweet, but I do need one contact in here. So to run that over to there, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to go click. Now that's connected. Now I want these to, you know what? I want to move these over. I'm going to select it. I'm going to use the right arrow key and I'm going to move it over a little bit. Maybe I'm going to go 2. Good. So 1, 2. And then what I want to do is I want to have that. I kind of don't, you know what? I'm going to delete this because I kind of like it if it goes over here. It doesn't matter. But watch this. I'm going to click here. So that's kind of a little bit redundant. I'm going to hit Control Z and I'm just going to go right back to how I had it. Okay, good. Or I can hit Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Control Z, and then move it like that. So there are lots of different ways I can do this. Okay, click. Okay, good. So now I have these components. All this is working out. What I need is I need a normally open because I need my holding contact. So I need contacts. Where do I find those contacts? Well, I'm going to close my output components, and oh, look at that. It says contacts. I'm going to click on the contacts. Oh, there's all these really cool contacts. Wow, there's a lot of, really? There's that many contacts? Actually, yeah, there are. And we're going to learn all of these by the end of studying this course and studying pneumatics. Here we go, our electronumatics. So I'm going to drag this contact over where I want it, and it's a holding contact. So I want to hold the signal from the start button. Oh, what is this? Well, this is a whole new kind of thing. What's going on is it's asking me, hey, dude, what do you want to associate with this contact? Like, what do you want to associate this contact with? Because from here, this contact, it's actually the information that drives this contact is someone pressing it. The information that actually energizes that is current that travels through. The information that makes this come on is current that travels through. What actually makes this come? Well, it's not pressing the button. It's when this becomes energized. So I want to associate this guy with my R1. So I'm actually going to go over here and I'm going to double click on this. Although it kind of looks like you can't because it's not quite bright, but I'm going to double click on it and you'll see this guy change to R1. Ready? Good. And that changed to R1 as well. So now I'm just going to click close and it already saves it. Okay, good. So now I'm going to draw a line from here down to there. I'm going to draw a line from here down to there and we're done. The circuit is done. So what do I do now? Well, I go over to this simulation mode. Now, I can actually click on this, and there are a lot more simulations. I can actually hit step-by-step mode or slow motion mode and all that. That's good. For now, I'm just going to hit start. So when I hit start, watch what happens. Oh, nothing happened. Well, actually, something did happen. This became high. Look, it's pink or red. It indicates that there's voltage in here. There's potential voltage here. This green stuff indicates that there's negative voltage here, or 0. It's actually not negative voltage. It's the absence of voltage. It's 0. And this in between is simply not connected to any electrical conduction at all. So there's no electrical conduction or no electrical potential anywhere here. There's actually 0. We can say what the electrical potential is here. It's 0. We can say what the electrical potential is here. It's 24 volts. So now watch this. When I see, oh, look at that. When I put my mouse over this, that little finger comes on, and I'm going to close this. When I press my left click, it will become closed, and the light and this will energize, and you'll see how they change. Well, look at that. Now, when I release it, it will open. because it's just a normally open button. So when I stop activating it, it becomes open. But we know this is energized, and we know this becomes closed, and we know that's how a holding circuit works. Oh, look, the light's on. Yep. So there you go. So that's how you use Automation Studio. Now I'm going to, if I wanted to add more stuff, I'm going to hit stop, and I'm just going to add more stuff in here. So if I wanted to build a circuit that was more complicated, I could actually, whoa. Now I'm kind of stuck here. I did something weird and it got stuck. I'm just going to hit escape. So I'm going to click on this and delete it. And then I'm actually going to click on this and delete it. And I'm left with this. Now what I want to do is I want to say, okay, what if I wanted to run that light in a different way? Let's say I wanted to put it on a different rung. So I'm going to do that. And then, oh yeah, it needs to know what it is again. I'm just going to double click R1. So now in this case, it doesn't say R1-1, R1-2. Actually, I can use 100 of these if I want. Because it's virtual, this relay has as many contacts as you want. Okay, good. So I'm going to run this from here down. Now watch this. If I wanted to go over here, I can just click on it. Or I could actually click here and then click here. Okay, good. So now I want to go back to my light again. So my output components, output components, I want to click on that. Signaling devices, I want my light over here. Now, all right, wants to know what it is, L1. Now, in this case, as opposed to hitting enter or clicking on this, I'm going to click on this. Oh, right, yeah, I want to save it. So it's a double process. Oh no, it didn't. I think I said no or something. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm going to click over here, and in this case, I'm going to type over here L1. Now I'm going to hit close because it wants me to know if I want to associate it with this, and no, I don't. So now it's L1, and I'm going to close it. So there are a couple different ways you can name these things. Okay, good. If I'm going to click on this guy, and now I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to go up to here, click, and bam-o, shmam-o. Okay, good. Here we go. So now, again, same thing happens. When I close this, that energizes that close, and this closes too. And when I let go of it, there, that stays on. Termination signal, termination contact. Bam. Perfect. So that's your Automation Studio. You can get as complicated as you want. You know where all of the devices are. So the only thing that you're going to need to know for Lab 5 is you're going to need to put a solenoid in here. It's directly an output component. So I'm going to click on output components, and you'll see a solenoid. This is something you will need for Lab 5 because you're going to use a solenoid, although it's not actually doing anything. And when you build it in, well, it is doing something. It's energizing a valve for fluid control, but you're not actually going to physically do that in the lab. You're going to simulate that just by driving a lamp. But in this case, I'm going to call it Sol1, solenoid 1, and I'm just going to hit enter because that's nice and simple and short and sweet. So that is something you will need to know, and that's where you find it. You actually find it right in output components right there. Okay, good. So that's a nice sweet demo. I think you can actually go ahead and build anything you want, any kind of circuit you want that we'll be studying. There's also timers in here. Actually, let me show you where the timer is. That we will be studying for introduction to controls. So if you go to coils, there's something called coil with time on and coil with time off. When we talk about timers, you'll understand which one of those to use. But essentially, I can just drag this in here and watch. When I do this, I'm going to call it timer T1, and I'm going to click on this. Now, when I click, I can double click on this for properties, and I can set the time. But I'm not going to go into that. I'll do that in another lecture. But so you know now that you've got all of the resources you need to build the ladder logics for all of your labs, actually. And it's a bit of a learning process just going through and using this, but you'll get it once you start using it. Now, I want to get into the save function. So you go over, you go over here and you hit project, save project as. Now, it's on AppStream. So what's going on is just click on this PC and go over to temporary files. And then you're going to save this as, so let me double click temporary files. So this is going to be project, let's just call it project 1. So now I'm just going to hit save. Now it's saving in there. It takes a little bit of time to save in there. So when you want to get it, say you want to save that on your computer, because you're actually going to have to email it to you're a lab instructor. It'll be part of like an assignment. You're uploading an assignment. So go into here, go into that symbol there and hit temporary files and then go into your temporary files. And there it is. There's the project one. So the one you want to send is actually this one. And the way you do that is you hit download and then you can just download it and then it'll be on your computer because this is actually on a server. So AppStream is on a server, and I think you guys might know that because you've used AppStream before probably. Anyway, there you go. That's how you access your files and how you save. And when you want to open, go here to Open Project, and it will actually take you to that same folder. So this PC, I've already got Project 1 because I've already saved it. So, and then I can open Project 1 and hit Open. So there you go. There's Automation Studio. Yeah, there are a lot more functions. You can play around with this. It's actually very powerful and it's very cool. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. So there you go. Now you're an expert at just starting ladder logic. Okay, bye.